Hi everyone, it is August 25th, 2013. I just wanted to film some of the wildflowers because I think they might start going downhill fairly soon in the next few weeks, so we have several weeks before the first frost should come. You can see, because it's so brightly colored, it's designed so that the pollinators can find them more easily. All those buds about to bloom are thistle, which I think you'll see some here shortly. I don't know if that's something with like a pod, what it is it's trying to grow back there. And you'll probably see some sunflowers around the corner. It's really almost too hot for me, for my normal comfort level. 30 degrees Celsius and very humid. Most of you probably already know about this, but are you familiar with the concept or the actuality of what Lightworkers are? As I'm going to put on my Facebook page shortly, if you know what they are, you probably are one. And if you Google that term, you're probably discovering that you're one. And do you just find that the people in your life seem to be multiplying and your networks are getting more and more vast, and the connections you have between people are stronger and more interwoven than you previously thought? Because that's definitely becoming the case for me. It's not just in this geographical area, but spreading out quite far and wide. Yeah, look at this over here. And it is church time now, so not many people are out. Not that they would be otherwise. The din of traffic on Sundays before, or especially after church, is just massive for a town of 150,000. Oh, this kind of moth I've been really impressed with. I think this might be the same one I watched the other day. I just love its innocence and its cute expression. And I'm just so happy for them that there's just all this choice available. Yeah, these pink flowers are thistle. They are considered a voracious, horrible weed by the agricultural community, and if you take your wheat or your beans to market and that is found in your harvest, they dock you a huge percentage, I believe. And so all the chemicals are brought out to make sure that doesn't happen. And we wonder why. Well, I'm not trying to demonize people who are trying to make a living, but that also explains why the population of bees has dropped by 93% in 15 or 16 years now. As you can see, there are different varieties of sunflowers. This is more of a small bloom one. I believe that's a morning glory. I I haven't seen them bloom back here. You'll remember up there, that's where the crows were watching me once. And after I made my pronouncement to them that they've never followed me anywhere again, so I think they just were like, oh, he's cool, no threat to us. But yes, the concept of a weed really brings the price down of your grains. And what else? I just find that I'm experiencing a lot more connections to people, and it's getting harder and harder to manage everything. I'm trying to look out for everybody that I can, but I think my role as a light worker, and yes, I will just go straight out and say that I am one, because I do, not saying that I'm super involved. Oop, I don't want to get stung. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of bees here. Hold on. There we go. Okay. That little yellow cluster there was just swimming. And I do have an insect fear. Those are examples of a perfectly formed thistle. They must benefit from a little bit of shade now and again. But my role is sort of like a generalist role, I think. I'm meant to just yeah, this is always a hard spot too. I'm meant to just sort of give people the gateway, because believe me, I do not have the energy to be uber social. It's just not in me to do that, like in off hours too. But the light workers are all coming in and getting activated now and trying to be nice. Meanwhile, negative news will pile up on us. There are several very dark stories in the US right now. There's the Australian, and again, I'm giving you the headline version of these because I don't really have time to get into all the really minute details, but the Australian visiting to Oklahoma, the bordering state to the south of mine, my state, was killed by a couple of teenagers or people in their early 20s because they were bored. And then there was a veteran killed, an 88-year-old killed in a, I guess what I would call a botched robbery in Washington State. And we have to be very alert to the semantics. I'm not saying that these things didn't happen, obviously, but we are trying to... Several people gain when we are stirred up like this. The word veteran alone is just going to charge people full of associations and memories and emotion. And I don't know, I know some people who are pagan, and even one of them was like, I want to string these kids up and stuff. I understand that, but really that doesn't serve any purpose. And one of the kids turned himself in. Really, I think that most people under the age of 25, and this has sort of been demonstrated by neurological studies, they can't fully project the consequences of what they do in the way that a fully matured brain does. I'm not saying that that releases them from responsibility, but when you have so much electronic stimuli happening and parents that are really stressed out and not present, people, particularly, I would say under 25 and above 65, are really starved for attention and relevance in what's going on. Generally, the population between the age of 25 and 65, if they are working, are so stressed out and so clinging to their livelihood that they just don't have time to deal with anything. And that's why you see a lot of really frustrated right-wing type approaches to things. And then if you're not working, then there's all kinds of other alienation going on. And I've been in both sides of that, but you really want to help people, but you don't have the means to do it. And often you're seeing society for what it really is. So there's just going to be a lot of disruption, and if there's any kind of danger that we're moving into in the U.S. on the ground, it is the reemergence of severe racial tension again. And a lot of people will not like this, but I think hip-hop music, I'm not talking about authentic, like, social justice type hip-hop music, but the mainstream, like, low vibration, very low class vernacular type, is actually falling right into the hands of the people that they're supposedly against. And it's not going to look good, because it's going to turn into an arms race of the ethnicity, and I can see that happening to people around me immediately. One club that I have gone to a number of times over the years here has pretty much stopped playing that kind of music, and it's really more of the what we call the booty pop type of music. And personally, I'm happy, but attendance is dropping. They're probably trying to eliminate a lot of the bar fight kind of stuff that's happening, that's always coupled with alcohol. But meanwhile, a couple of nights ago, there were a couple of kids on their bicycle in my front yard at like 4 in the morning. It woke me up. It was really strange. And I can't say that they were, it just seemed like they were drunk maybe, I don't know. But I've never seen that before in all of the previous years that I've lived here. And then a few people I know by association, not directly, experienced a pretty scary armed robbery outside of a pizza parlor a few days ago after they finished work at like 3 or 4 in the morning. Everyone's cell phones were taken, and then the guys that were wearing masks took them inside and then had the registers cleared out and stuff. And while I generally think that I find the generation behind mine, like particularly the kids born around the 9/11 time, are just like these really high wavelength entities entering. They're in a pop culture that doesn't give them a whole lot of tools to work with, but they are just so alert and receptive and profound. So I think that the general realm of possibility is very positive, but we have to sort of, I don't know, I don't want to ever censor a type of music, but we want to get people on very life-sustaining and happiness-sustaining practices and surround them with that kind of environmental noise, I guess you could say. Anyway, I thank you for watching, and I'm curious to see if anyone mentions their role as a light worker. Thank you. Bye.